Here we go. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, okay, good. So now I'd like you to double click on person. Let's explore a little bit more with AnyLogic in terms of this this characteristic. So double click on person. Why do I double click on person? What does double click on person do? Why am I doing that? TA? Who else needs a TA? Okay. So double click on person, what does it do? Why do I double click on person? I just said double click on person. Why? What does double click on the person do in the upper left here? It opens up person, so I could see the properties of person. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, now that I could do that, I could set aspects of their properties. So particularly I'd like to click on their oval, ladies and gentlemen. See this oval here? Do you see that oval? Okay. So I'd like you to click on the oval, and then I'd like to do something unusual. I'd like to go to the dynamic tab. Okay? See dynamic? This dynamic tab. So if again, double click on person, so person is open, and then I'd like to click on their icon, this oval, and then in the properties window, click on dynamic tab. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'd like to do is to go put an expression in here for the radius that's given by the log of the income, of their income, okay? This is the natural log of their income. Put it in as radius x, radius y, okay? Okay, so in other words, I double clicked on person opened up, I clicked on this circle, and then I went on to the dynamic properties, and for radius x, I did, so the very topmost of this dynamic properties, I did log of income, radius y, log of income. People comfortable with that? Okay, can I ask you to run it then? Who needs help though from a TA? Who's lost and would like help? Who's not lost but would like help too? Okay. Okay, so let's right click. What do you think will happen now? Just anyone want to guess? Hazard a guess? Sorry? Yeah. So the radius of them. So what does this mean? So I see here, ladies and gentlemen, a graph. What am I looking at? Like why are there all these? First of all, what does the circle mean here? What's the circle here? It's a particular person. And why are some circles bigger than others? Yeah, their income is bigger than others. And so let's go, how would I look at a particular person? How would I look at a particular person here? Suppose I want to drill down to a person. Folks, how would I drill down to a person? Okay, so I can do it at the top, but I also told you another way to do it, and it's good to know. Where's the other way? How can I get to a particular person? Besides this menu. This menu is my favorite way, actually. But there is another way. How would I do it if I couldn't do it this way? So I can double click on the population, and that will give me the first person and the second person and the third person. You see that? Okay.
Is there any way to click on one of the circles or to
Yes.
Yeah.
I can do
Yes.
it in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you wanted to see particular.
Yep. Yep.
You can do that.
Yes.
I did it online, so it's
Yeah. Yeah. So the navigate to on the on click.
You were in navigate.
Yeah. 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 So there is to do that. So I think I'll leave doing it for a little bit, but that would be. It is possible to have it, so when you click on it, we'll do it, and we'll see how we can do things like that in a little bit. Okay, so So what we've done there is just illustrated heterogeneity visually among things. To save time, I'm not going to go into, well, sure, what the heck, okay. So let's go back to person. Well, okay, so I want you to tell me. Suppose I want to now make person's color depend on their sex. Where do I go to set the, so we want to make, now we want to make the color of that oval dependent on some property of them, let's say their sex. Where would I go to do that? How do I change how a person appears? Okay, dynamic for their what? Good. Okay, so I click on person, because this is something to do with a person, and then click on what here? On the oval, because I'm doing something about their oval. And in fact, there's a thing called fill color here, okay? Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little expression in that will say basically if they're male, then make them blue, otherwise make them pink. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of, sorry? Okay, we'll make males pink then. Sure. So sex equals 0, we'll make them pink, otherwise we'll make them blue. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting this here, and perhaps the horror is setting in. Ladies and gentlemen, these expressions that you put in here, remember that log normal which we put in? Remember that uniform discord? Remember this log of income we put in here? Ladies and gentlemen, you folks are now Java programmers. Those are actually all Java. In fact, even some of those constants you put in earlier, like a value of 100 for how long someone stays before losing waning immunity in that first example, you actually put in Java code there. You just didn't know it. This is some Java code here. This Java code is less familiar to me. Can anyone tell me who has seen Java before or another language? What does this mean? This is sort of weird question mark and this colon, but this is just a little expression just like that log normal thing is. Yes?
It says if sex is 0, actually the first is conditional and it will evaluate either true or false.
Yeah.
If it evaluates a true, then the second item blue will be returned, otherwise pink will be returned.
So in other words, if a person's sex is equal to 0, they'll be blue, otherwise pink?
Yes.
Now, for the gentleman in the back, it was suggested that maybe we make males pink and females, but it's a little bit arbitrary what the coding of sex is in the first place. So I'll make it sex equals 0, pink, otherwise blue, and you can choose accordingly. But here we run, and we should see something like that. I'll go back and sort of highlight this, but again, maybe we want to make it pink and then blue, something along those lines, so that we'll maintain the standard of males as 0, and in which case they're pink. In any case, you should see something like this, and a level of a particular individual, we should see color something like that, sort of distinctions, okay? So all the zeros are in, so the males are pink here, and the females are blue, okay? Okay, does anyone need TA help for that? That was a little bit of a weird expression, but the basic deal, folks, here is this may strike you as strange as an expression, but the idea is it's just like reading any other thing, a plus 2, 1 plus 3 divided by 5. So here, the question is this thing true or not, as Scott said? In other words, is a person's sex 0? If so, they're pink, otherwise they're blue. That's what this means. Okay? Okay, questions? Help. Who needs help? Who needs help here? Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, to sort of drive this point home, though, about the role that parameters play, I'd like now to ask you to solve a problem for me. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to tell me, with this model, suppose I wanted to have a parameter for the population size. Okay? So I'm just going to get this nugget.